for Lucy, please. Yes, that's right. It's good. It's good artwork. If you wanna support Lucy a bit, then you should give Mostly Software some subscription. Some Ordinary Gamers is the channel. Oh, that's right. Yeah, 3.71 million subscribers. Okay, let's hear why Keffals is horrible and the worst and just, oh my god. Why Keffals is a complete fraud. I don't even know what that means. A complete fraud at what? I don't even know what the title means. What is Keffals a fraud at? Am I a fraud? If Keffals is a fraud, then am I a fraud? Answer in the chat. Do you think that I'm a fraud? I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna start a new one on YouTube. Because I have no idea how to start a poll on the page. Nobody taught me. There you go. I started a new one. She's not a fraud. Oh, the GoFundMe. Hello, Grady Rain. I did a GoFundMe once for my mom. And she had the accident. Technically speaking, it wasn't even an accident. A dude just rode into her on a scooter. I rammed into her with an electric scooter or something. So that wasn't even an accident. Is the art working today? Not yet. Nobody gave Mostly Software a subscription, so not yet. No, I'm sorry to say. But it is still great art. I stopped to the Buffed Up HRT and Catboy Ranch.
If anyone ever finds out...
Okay, let's see. Also join the page and give me some love. For the sacrifice of doing this.
About how I spent the GoFundMe.
I keep trying to think of how it depleted so fast, and it's just so many little things. Replacing furniture and helping my friends out and buying new streaming gear. I could use some new streaming gear. If anyone ever finds out how I spent the GoFundMe, I am definitely getting cancelled. Anyway, sorry for venting. I'm gonna go now. I'm still heading to Dingle. Lol. Where is this? Thank you. Damn.
I am definitely getting canceled. Hello, guys.
You did capture my face, but I'm pretty ugly. I have to say. I am a pretty ugly individual. It's okay. Some people are ugly so that other people can look pretty in comparison. The HRT and Catboy Ranch stuff is straight up Kiwi Farms misinformation as well, but we'll get to that. Oh. Do you want to tag team this with me, RKL? You want to call in and do a tag team battle? React to Keffals?
Guys and gals, me Mutahar, and today's video is one that required quite a fair bit of research, and it's one that I should have released a few weeks ago. It's a video that might be one of my most controversial videos, but one that required looking back years upon years of internet history to come to an actual conclusion of one of the most dangerous people on the web, an international transgender activist that some of you all may know as Keffals. Now, Keffals is not—
Oh, come on. Right off the bat, come on. Give me a break. I'm gonna be quite honest. Give me a break. One of the most dangerous people on the web. Give me a break. I'm gonna be honest. If Keffals is one of the most dangerous people on the web, then the web is a pretty safe place, okay? This is my opinion, okay? If Keffals of all people is one of the most dangerous people on the web, then my conclusion is that the web is a pretty safe place to be in. One of the most dangerous people on the web. Get out of here. Get out of here. Come on. Be serious. Thank you. That is true. The more you get to know a person, then you perceive them differently on a physical level. Usually, you can sometimes see person as not that pretty, and then you get to know them and they seem prettier to you. And sometimes a person can seem pretty, but they have an ugly personality, and suddenly they don't look that pretty to you anymore, you know? They look uglier. I fear for Keffals every time I log on dinner. She could be watching me right now. You mean you fear of Keffals? Like, come on, give me a break with the whole, she's one of the most dangerous people on the web. Oh, yeah.
Not necessarily a popular activist, they're an online transgender activist known for fighting against the controversial website Kiwi Farms. Her campaign saw mainstream attention after a highly publicized swatting, where
Kiwi Farms. Kiwi Farms.
she alleged mistreatment by the Canadian Police Services. The online harassment escalated until she was forced to flee.
Is this our threshold of what, like, becomes the most, that one of the most dangerous people on the web? Okay, I'm overdoing it. Like, let's just allow this person to make the case, but I don't know. Like, come on. You're right, getting schooled on my grammar by an ESL person. Listen, I am certified to teach English. I actually did a whole course on becoming an English teacher. So my grammar has to be on point, okay? Because I taught people at language schools. I taught the language to people. Do these dudes ever stop to think about how obsessed with her they are? I don't know. Like, maybe some of the claims are true, but saying that she's one of the most dangerous people on the web is just... I just shake my head. Come on. Really? That's the most dangerous that you can think of. That's the bar. Oh boy. We're in for a treat. And by treat, I mean the opposite of a treat, which I'm not sure what the word that's the opposite of a treat is.
Her home country to escape. With the media and an entire community backing her, she raised over $100,000 on GoFundMe.
Canadian dollars, I believe, no? Can somebody put to rest my question if it was 100,000 Canadian dollars or US dollars? Can somebody... Because I've been obsessively thinking about this ever since it happened. Is it Canadian dollars or is it US dollars? Because Canadian dollars are worth less than US dollars. Oh gosh, what I would have done with $100,000. What I would have done. I would have done so many beautiful things with $100,000. It was Canadian. Okay. So it's less than the US. Good to know.
To recoup her losses and pursue legal action.
Oh, someone said that I'm a fraud. That one person is correct. Or rather, that 13% of people is correct that I'm a fraud.
Against law enforcement. This is the story the public heard all the way up in 2022. Turns out her entire career and almost everything she said is a lie. Join me.
Sure. Even if it's true, it doesn't make her one of the most dangerous people on the web. Wait, 100,000 Canadian dollars is 8,000 US dollars? 7,500 US dollars? Come on, no, that's not true. You're pulling my leg, Somniostatic. The Canadian dollar is not that weak compared to the US dollar. $73,000. Damn, that's still a lot. I would be happy if I got $73,000. I'd be so happy if I had $73,000.
Me as I take you down a journey that involves SWAT teams, misgendering, do-it-yourself hormones, cat boys, and a scam many have tried to expose, yet for some reason almost no one is talking about. Before we get into the real meat and potatoes, I should probably explain a bit more about who Keffals is.
Like, come on. None of this has established how dangerous she is on the web. But okay, I'm still waiting for the justification of the claim that she's one of the most dangerous people on the web. Because lying does not make you the most dangerous people on the web. Many people lie on the internet. Many people's careers were a lie on the internet. And yet, they did not get the title of being one of the most dangerous people on the web. Okay?
Her name is Clara Sorrenti, first rose to prominence in a community of another left-wing political streamer named Vosh, garnering a following by posting memes on Twitter. With this notoriety, she began streaming video games on Twitch in March of 2020. Her focus shifted to politics later that year after a wave of anti-trans legislation swept through the United States. Okay. She went on to raise $200,000 for a campaign for Southern equality to protect trans youth. By the end of the year, her Twitter surpassed 10,000 followers, and while most were on board with the activist, others grew very critical of how she used her platform. Clara regularly directed her chat to brigade targets by ratioing them.
Why is he speaking in such an excited voice about such, I don't know, non-exciting things, okay? She would ratio people, she would ratio people on the Twitter. I mean, that's part of the whole thing, but maybe I'm too Polish to understand this. Maybe it's just the Polish thing to be subdued, quiet, and and this person is just like so animated about such mundane things. That just feels very strange to me.
Ratioing, for anybody who's not terminally online, is when you try to get more.
As his usual delivery for videos, he is normal on stream. Here in life, I see.
Likes to the original post in a quote tweet or a reply. This amounted to coordinating with her chat on stream, and even if you blocked her, she would just use alternate accounts to achieve this goal. It was through this that she got into her first real internet beef in early 2022. On March 22nd, 2022, Clara had a spat with online notorious agitator Ian Miles Chong. Their back and forth continued for hours as she commanded her viewers to ratio him. Then at around 4:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, her chat was brigaded with hateful messages.
Okay. This is one of those situations where the worst people come out of the woodwork to take a victory lap for the wrong reasons. I would agree. Commanded poor little mice. Gee.
Messages. Despite the timing...
Is this what makes Keffals one of the most dangerous people on the web? I know I keep harping on it, but it's a pretty strong statement to make. One of the most dangerous people on the web. Come on.
One of her mods would end up blaming someone else.
You do know that Russian state misinformation counts as part of the web, right? Russian financed misinformation campaign. So Keffals is more dangerous than that? Keffals is more dangerous than... That's...
Other streamer named Destiny. Destiny is a kind of progenitor of the entire online leftist streaming space. His stream is where both Vosh and Hassan Piker got their start. These people used to be friends.
Isn't Destiny potentially more dangerous than Keffals on the web? He could do a lot more damage to people if he so chose, if you wanted. Because being dangerous, means that you have the potential to be dangerous, no? It doesn't mean that you're doing bad things actively. Tak is yes, nie is no. Being dangerous means that you can sort of potentially do harm, no? So technically speaking, the bigger and more influential a figure is, the more quote-unquote dangerous potentially they are, no? Oh, sorry, I called you a fraud without knowing. It's okay, I'm a fraud. Tak is also yes in Ukrainian, by the way. Everyone in the commentary community hated her with a passion because she was deplatforming people online, yet they never mentioned anyone by name that actually got deplatformed except for Density, and she just claims that as her own victory, even though she had barely anything to do with that. Yeah, is winning, that's true.
And nowadays, not so much. And that is reflected in their communities. The only evidence implicating Destiny was a quote tweet where he called her cringe. Ooh, the shock! It was posted 2 hours after the raid. Despite this, Clara and her community insisted...
This video is cringe so far. I don't know, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing me. The delivery is embarrassing to me.
It was his fault. Once again, there was no evidence he had...
I'm sorry, it reads to me like a person just looking through very, very mundane things and trying his best into turning it into something exciting. Like, I'm not excited so far. So far, I'm like, okay, where is this going? Is this going anywhere? Is there a point? Like, Keffals was ratioing people, and Destiny called her cringe. Sure, okay. Is this going anywhere? This is actually...
any involvement, yet she used it as justification to deplatform him. Her first response was to try to get his Twitter mass reported and banned.
Okay. I mean, Destiny got banned on Twitter like 1,000,000 times for saying charged things, quote unquote.
He had her sights on his Twitch channel.
Anytime he steps away from tech cybersecurity topics, it gets so cringe. I mean, it is pretty cringe so far. I'm not gonna lie. It's just...
what can only be described as a full-fledged...
If he's so desperate to creates something out of nothing so far. Maybe he gets, I don't know, maybe he makes a case later, but so far it's like, oh, okay, there is a person that, like, so far it's just something that everybody knew. Everybody knew. Like, that is how she got famous, by ratioing people on Twitter. Like, why am I supposed to get excited about this? And why does it make her dangerous?
Character
Again,
assassination. There are countless examples of
character assassination. Like, people throw that term around so recklessly, so mindlessly. Everything is a character assassination now.
legitimate slander and flat-out lies about Destiny. He detailed the worst of her behavior in an extensive document he published back in
God, the manifesto.
2022. And I'm only going to touch on a few.
The last part of the video has the most substance in my opinion. Oh, okay, so we just have to wait over an hour to get anything of substance. Good to know. Good to know. Nothing like padding your video for an hour only to give any substance at the very end. That's so cool. I would just wait till the GoFundMe section. That's when it picks up. I mean, we're gonna watch the whole thing because I'm doing this apparently. Listen, if you're enjoying my commentary, which I bet is a bit different from anybody else's commentary because I'm an original and creative individual, I'm a creative, then please consider, because this is the moment when I do the advertisement, please consider supporting your favorite streamer, which is definitely me, and subscribing, joining the page, and maybe giving me a little bit of a donation, you know? You consider it? You consider it? I'll be transparent on what I'll spend it on. Lucy, you should show us any random doodles you work on. I might as well. It gets way more into money and catboy rant stuff. Most of this stuff people already know. Some is more receipts. Okay. Also, Dwab Winkle, are you new to the stream? Have you been here before? What brought you to the stream? Is it because I'm covering Keffals? I can promise my transparency on what I'll spend the money that you donate. I mean, if you want to see random doodles that I make, just watch any of my thumbnails for my videos. Second time, I think Loner sent me it the first time I was here. Oh, okay. You were playing New Vegas. Ah, right. So what do you think of the streams? Are you enjoying my streams? Do you think I'm a real streamer intellectual? Do you think the books do me justice? But those can be all you do. No, they're not.
Examples because this video is going to be as long as it is. The first thing to point out is she was successful in depriving him of one of his main sources of income. She painted Destiny as transphobic for not supporting trans women competing in sports with cis women. Even if you disagree with this, that doesn't necessarily make Destiny transphobic. It's a fringe pressure point.
I mean, there are more points, there are more things that can be said about Destiny, about Destiny's positions, that can lead you to a conclusion that he is indeed transphobic. I'm sorry. Like, watch his conversation with Blair White. It speaks volumes about his, you know. Donate to me. It will be spent on tobacco, coffee, and junk food. Hello, all. Hello, Titan Uranus. Titan, you should join the page as well. Like, I don't know. Destiny's relationship to transphobia. He has had some transphobic positions, in my opinion. Not gonna lie. I've had problems with Destiny's position on trans issues, especially when he talked to Blair White, when he basically Destiny shared Keffals' dogs in his side chat. He defended her swatting. He advertised her Kiwi Farms threat multiple times. He floated funding Kiwi Farms. Oh yeah, he did. It made me want to try New Vegas. Less interested in drama than history in New Vegas. Okay, that's good. That is actually good because I usually do New Vegas and history. Actually, you're in luck, Dwab Winkle, because after this, that is exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna do New Vegas and we're gonna do history. We're gonna do New Vegas, we're gonna watch a history video, and then we're gonna read a history book. Isn't this amazing? Is this not an amazing plan for the stream? When Muda says there was no evidence of his involvement, he reveals how little research he actually does. He's just a tool for his friends. That is interesting because he said at the beginning of the video that he did tons of research. Imagine how sad your life has to be to research this sort of stuff. I'm sorry. There's so many more interesting things to research. Like, for example, I don't know, reading articles on the foreign affairs page about the situation in different countries. Or reading a history book. Reading Bloodlands by Timothy Snyder. Or watching a lecture by Timothy Snyder on the formation of modern-day Ukraine, which I very much recommend. Yale series of lectures by Timothy Snyder about the history of Ukraine. Do this for research, but not this. You know? There's so many actually interesting things that you can research and learn. I think his policy positions are more progressive than a large majority of people. He even tentatively supports hormone treatment for teens. I don't know about his personal feelings, but at least for an American, he pushes way better policy than we have now. I mean, I gotta be honest. I live in Poland, so trans rights overall are light years ahead in the US compared to Poland. So just so you know, like, the US is far better on trans rights than Poland is. Don't talk to the DGG about non-binary people. That's true. Hey, I give you a whole ass dollar on Patreon and would like an itemized receipt on how you spend it. I usually actually, and this is my serious answer, I usually transfer the Patreon money to my PayPal, and I usually use the Patreon money to buy any games. I usually spend the PayPal money on games. I'm glad you have people who accept you, Lucy. That's right. There's some very nice people that accept me 1000%.
Point of a much larger, broader issue. It's a highly specific, contentious issue and an unfair characterization of his broader catalog. Regardless, her labeling garnered enough support to get Destiny banned off of Twitch within 24 hours for hate speech. She immediately took credit, gloating about taking away his primary source of income. Hey Steve, I just took away your primary source of income. Please leave me alone and stop bullying trans people for content. He picked a fight with me, he got banned, I won. This behavior was not only encouraged, but rewarded with 30,000 new followers that week. An important thing to remember is that if you're banned off...
Damn, that's horrible. It's almost as if Destiny got banned 1 trillion billion times on Twitter and made 1 billion alternative accounts. Like, are we supposed to pretend that Destiny being banned on Twitter is some special event? I mean, unfortunately, in Poland, a lot of people in everyday life just call me sir, but it is what it is. I think all the commentary community hate Keffals because it's temporarily inconvenience the fruit site for a bit, and they had to do actual investigations on the people they were making videos on instead of regurgitating the thread. Yeah, she was just gloating. I remember that actually. After Keffals commanded her audience to point out bigotry. I don't know. So far, there's nothing of substance here. So far, it's just, oh, Keffals so bad because she ratioed people and Destiny got banned on Twitter, as if that was some rare occurrence, as if Destiny did not have like 15 alt accounts because he got banned all the time for the things that he said. Are we really gonna ignore that part? That Destiny did a perfectly fine job of getting banned on Twitter on his own. Unless he's talking about some other ban. It's all over the place here. Some states are trying to make treatment illegal even for adults. Some states it's considered child abuse to not affirm your kid's self-identity. I mean, yeah, it depends. I mean, different states have different law.
Twitch, you cannot appear on the site at all. For the longest time, you couldn't even show his face on screen without getting in trouble. Now that he couldn't defend himself, she spread even more blatant falsehoods. The same day, she baselessly he couldn't defend himself.
Can you confirm this is? Can you confirm if this was for ban invasion for watching the Destiny Shapiro debate? It'd be pretty wacky if you caught a ban, but not Hassan and Mike from PA. Yes, but I don't want anyone else to catch a ban. Wait, hold on. What does that have to do with anything?
She spread even more blatant falsehoods. The same getting in trouble. You cannot appear on the site at all. For the longest time, you couldn't.
It was a Twitch ban.
Even show his face on screen without getting in trouble.
Okay, I remember this as well. Also, I'm just gonna say this. I watched the Destiny Shapiro debate on Twitch. I never got a ban. I'm just saying. Just making this, you know, I'm just gonna say it right now. I never got a ban. And I did react to the debate. So it seems Twitch has changed its rules ever since then. So now you can actually react to Destiny just fine. But it seems like for a while, it's been the case that you could either be too small to be banned by Twitch for watching banned streamers like me, because I did react to Destiny Ben Shapiro debate on Twitch and nothing happened. And Hassan did it and didn't catch a ban. I guess Dylan Burns watched it and did get a temporary ban.
Now that he couldn't defend himself, she spread even more.
I don't think I would thrive in an LGBT hostile place like Poland.
Blatant falsehoods. The same day, she baselessly accused Destiny of stealthing, which is secretly removing a condom during sex without the partner's consent. This is generally considered a form of you-know-what, which Clara brings up.
I don't know what. What? What is it? What is it, some ordinary gamers? What is it? I don't know. I'm not that smart. It's my second language.
Her accusation.
Oh yeah, meanwhile he stealths people, which is legitimately a form of insane shit.
To this day, there has never been any evidence or even an allegation made towards Destiny about.
I think it's because the whole thing where Destiny said that if a girl something doesn't know or whatever, then she's not mature enough to have intimate relations or something. It was something silly. Destiny said something silly on Twitter. Destiny gets into trouble. I'm having problems with the monetization right now because I cannot confirm my address. So right now I don't have to worry about the monetization because, yeah. Because I lost monetization for now because I cannot confirm my address because I'm having problems with getting the thing in the mail that I'm supposed to get.
About this. She walked it back shortly after, which shows just how callous she is towards claims of such a serious nature. But because he was deplatformed, she was able to further a false narrative to her chat as well as tens of thousands of people on Twitter. They all either assumed she was being honest or didn't care she was slandering him because they had already disliked Destiny. In retrospect, her behavior paints a clear picture of how she would conduct herself in the future. It wasn't long into this drama that Keffals got noticed by the site Kiwi Farms, who started a thread about her on March 26, 2022.
Kiwi Farms.
Clara quickly
That was
tried
a really creepy thread as well, so...
to guilt Destiny by association, claiming he used the forum and was even friends with the owner. And what was the reasoning? Well, because apparently
I go by Winter now. Who's Destiny? Kiwi Farmer, political streamer, StarCraft player. Why do you think I'm financially supporting one of the largest female streamers on Twitch? Lol, she pays part of the rent to me, and I can't even tell if this is a meme or not. An actual technical, I guess it would be some raising someone else. What? I think I remember that Arcalai.
apparently has an account is because he was a target on the site since 2017 with his own board. All his posts are arguing with trolls in his own thread. He was also never friends with Null, who is the owner of Kiwi Farms. He is
Do you need to be a friend with the creator of the site to... What? What does that have to do with anything that he wasn't a friend with the creator of the site? I don't see the relevance. Maybe I'm just not smart enough to understand.
has also gone on record to wish him death several times. No.
So? What? How is that relevant to anything? Where did that come from? Oh, he can be a Kiwi farmer. He actually isn't a friend with the creator of the site and he wished him death. So, okay, so? What does that even matter? That's silly. Sorry.
Oh, by the way, wishing death on Destiny.
And this is while he's out, I guess, around with. And it's just like he's super gross, and sometimes he says things which are funny or agreeable, and it's like, I wish I could like you, bro, but you're creepy and gross and weird.
Okay, that's very fascinating, but what does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with Keffals being a fraud or Keffals being dangerous on the web?
And your brain's all up, and your shit's all and you talk like a. So we can't be friends, and I kind of think the world would be better off with you.
Clara knew this, but intentionally spread a lie that they met 10 years ago on the game StarCraft. When confronted, she admitted, I know, I wanted him to respond to the accusation, it was bait. At this point, I wanted him to respond ago on...
Here's Destiny on his verified Kiwi Farms account saying he's known the person who runs the site for 10 years and played StarCraft 2 with him. Here's another user getting mad at him for stealing... for stealing content from my thread for Twitter. I mean, you do know that these things are not exactly mutually exclusive. He might have met him 10 years ago and played StarCraft 2 with him. And then, 10 years later, he might have hated him. Like, that's not mutually exclusive. Just because you hate someone does not follow that you could not have met them 10 years ago, etc. and played StarCraft 2 with them. Right? You do understand that, right?
on the game StarCraft. When confronted, she admitted, "I know. I wanted him to respond to the accusation. It was bait." At this point, I should probably take some time to explain exactly what Kiwi Farms is. Kiwi Farms
It's a page of doxers, basically, and harassers.
is an online website dedicated to discussing internet figures. Okay, you probably
Yeah, it was created for the sake of harassment of Christian or whatever. What is this? What is this, Arkael? What are you giving me? What is this brief? Hold on. Should I open it on stream or off stream? I mean, it was created for the purpose of harassing Christian, wasn't it? CWC Wiki. No, CWC Wiki was first. You know?
probably heard about internet lolcows, people like Chris Chan, Boogie29.
Yeah, Christian was the thing that originated the site.
Or okay, you probably heard about internet lolcows, people like Chris Chan, Boogie2988.
And yeah, let's be honest. Internet lolcows are just people that others can mock and abuse. So-called lolcows are usually just people that Kiwi Farms sees fair game for harassment. Like, I'm sorry, Christian is like the primary example of that. Of a person that's just unwell, that was just harassed. Straight up. Lolcows.
Or Daniel Larson, who has his own legal problems of late. The website's composed of...
It's so great, it's so funny to harass people and reduce them to objects of mockery. Which is basically what lolcow means. Reducing people to the status of objects of mockery. You know? Like, and it's like as long as you just use the word lolcow and becomes okay. It just becomes perfectly fine to treat people not as people but just a mockery.
Various threads where users effectively congregate to document and follow individuals with a negative lens, okay?
Yeah. Document and follow, which basically means harass in reality. Stalk. That is what we usually call people that just follow and document you. It's called stalking. Okay? Let's use the more mainstream term for this phenomenon.
Now, we have to acknowledge that Kiwi Farms...
And yes, Christian was 100% stalked by people.
does allow doxing, okay? On the site, it's permitted to post the personal information of anybody being discussed, including full names, phone numbers, home addresses, hell, even blood type if you can find it, and most other forms of personally...
Yeah. So stalking. Literally stalking. Getting all sorts of information and following people around. That is what we actually call stalking.
identifiable information. It's also a site where anything goes, okay? It's like...
Yeah, I mean, people literally showed up in Chris's hometown to follow, mess with their property, harass anyone Chris came into the country. Yeah, I know. And then they recorded it and documented it. And then they flaunted it all online. Because it was so funny. It was so great to just harass and stalk a person that was clearly unwell. It wasn't even cyber stalking. It was also stalking in real life in the case of Christian. So you had a vote and decided it was okay to dox little kids.
Like the Wild West of the internet. You ever try to look up me on some of these threads? You'll
Now,
probably
that's cool and all, but that's like just because you're trying to make it sound cool by calling it the Wild West. It's not cool. It's not good. It's bad, actually. The Wild West of the internet. Listen, the Wild West was pretty cool. Westerns are cool. Kiwi Farms is not cool. I pretty recently watched that movie. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Very nice movie. Very nice movie.
probably find Indian
If any of you have not seen it, you should. Because it's a great soundtrack.
and poo in the loo and crazy stuff all day, every day.
Apologies. Apologies for the sound. Oh, I've seen very recently the movie High Noon. About a sheriff that got married, was about to quit, but 3 convicts were going through the town to get him. The Dollars trilogy, unfortunately, not yet. Have to watch more westerns. I have to get more westerns under my belt. Okay, enough about westerns. Let's watch this.
Kiwi Farms was made back in 2013 by Joshua Connor Moon, also online known as Null. The original purpose of the site was to
Yeah, was to what? Was to what?
document internet figure Chris Chan. After they covered Chris Chan initially, it started to change itself and rebrand into a general purpose online.
Yeah, it was a harassment site. I know about this site. I saw the videos about how it operated. It was a harassment site.
Gossip wiki, so to speak, where they started to cover various individuals like Darkside Phil, Boogie.
Also, I'm not a big fan of the Keffals interview with Christian. I think that the person should be just left alone. I don't think Christian should be given any more internet prominence. I just don't think Christian should be put in the spotlight in any way, shape, or form. It just opens the person up for more abuse, to be honest, for more harassment.
Wings of Redemption, who all actually have threads. And the site does have a propensity to make threads about transgender individuals. Anti-trans sentiment is banned on a lot of major platforms, and as a result, the site has become a place for those opinions.
Oh, so it's a safe hub for transphobes. How lovely. What a lovely site. A safe haven for all the transphobes that cannot be just transphobic anywhere else because it's forbidden. It's just, a free market of ideas.
To effectively congregate. Now again, I want to start off by saying I don't endorse or support that behavior. In fact, I outright condemn it, alright?
But, is there a but coming? Is there a but? Lucy, you are not the most dangerous person on the internet, but you will be if you put King in your... King on the SNK vs. Capcom 2. I mean, we're gonna play it. Wait, does that mean, Shiano, that you've seen me play Capcom vs. SNK 2 on stream? It feels like you have. Also join the page.
There's no reason to
There's a but. There is a but coming. I can feel it. I can feel it.
have any form of hate on the internet. That being said,
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
All right, whatever goes on the site does fall under free speech and is entirely legal, okay?
Okay, that's the stupidest argument. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna lie, that's the stupidest argument that you can come up with. Just because something's legal, it does not make it good, okay? Legality is not be all end all of matters. I'm just gonna go out and say it. There are people that held this very silly opinion that law is the extension of morals or something, morality. But guess what? Before World War II, it was legal for a state to just murder its citizens because that was considered part of its sovereignty. That was law. That was legal. So before World War II, this person and his little pre-World War II YouTube video would be saying, hey, listen, a country murdered 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 of its citizens. I don't condone it. I don't like it. That being said, it's all perfectly legal because it's part of a country's sovereignty. Okay? Okay? So, what is this argumentation?
It's somewhat of a misnomer online that apparently
I really dislike this line of argumentation. It's just empty, meaningless. It means nothing. Well, it's legal. Okay.
doxing somebody is against the law. It is against the law to hack someone's accounts and breach their privacy to obtain their personal information, but that behavior is not encouraged by the site, and of course that behavior is punishable by law. But technically...
Okay. What am I supposed to take from this? What exactly am I supposed to take from this? So it's legal. What's your point?
It is not against the law to post...
Just because something's legal, does it stand that it should be allowed? That's my question. Because keep in mind, my grandfather was a professor of law, okay? And he wrote a book, a little book that was basically a introduction course, an introduction course into law, okay? A little booklet that introduced people into law. And that booklet recognizes right off the bat, right at the very beginning, that you have sort of the legal law and you have this sort of everyday custom law, I guess. Sort of how things are accepted in society. This societal unwritten law. Right? Rules between people of conduct. Norms. Yeah. Just because something is legal, it doesn't mean that it should be acceptable. And I would argue that transphobia should just be across the board unacceptable, even if it's legal. Even if it's legal to be transphobic, even if it's part of free speech, it doesn't mean that we have to tolerate it. That's it. There you go.
someone's address against their will. As shitty as that sounds, most controversial internet figures have threads on this site where they not only document their personal information.
Kind of weird that he's playing defense for doxing when his whole shtick is internet security and privacy. I mean,
But they collect any piece.
Maybe ironically enough, that is why he's not against doxing. Because if he was against doxing, if doxing was more sort of, not accepted, then maybe he'd be less useful. He said he's not encouraged by the site, but he's accepted the owner of the site.
Of content tweets and documents that they post.
So yeah, whether something is legal does not tell us whether it should be acceptable. So the question is it acceptable? Because what he is saying basically that for him, the existence of kiwi farms is just acceptable because it's legal. Because it's free speech. Which is a very stupid stance, but whatever.
Online. So early on, Clara blamed the thread's creation on Destiny, saying he was the reason they found out about her. Later, she admitted it was her constant instigating that actually caught their attention.
How did the kiwi farm stuff even start? They noticed me because I started doing Twitter ratios. And they went from getting mad about Twitter ratios.
But it isn't even legal considering the host content that could be considered. Well, that's true. But I would argue that even if it was completely legal, it wouldn't matter. It would still be unacceptable to me. That's it. It doesn't matter to me if it's legal or not. Legality is it's not the main issue to me. The legality of what they're doing. You know? I'm not hung up on legality. Legality is not a be-all, end-all to me. Especially since law has to be changed all of the time. As evidenced by the whole genocide example. There are a lot of situations when law has to be constantly reviewed, constantly changed, constantly updated, constantly improved. And if you take legality as something that is be-all and all, then that means that you assume that the current legal standard is good and does not even need any sort of scrutiny or change, which is definitely not the case. I'm pretty sure this is him setting up a hypocrisy argument rather than a kiwi farms is good argument. Oh, let's see. Let's see what the hypocrisy argument is. I mean, he didn't say it's good. He said it's acceptable. He said it's acceptable either way because it's part of free speech and legal. So apart from the hypocrisy argument, he did also basically say that it should be acceptable for kiwi farms to just function.
To digging up every single thing in the last 28 years of my life, looking for more reasons to be mad at me.
Again, hypocrisy and misstatements are going to be rife in this video. After Destiny got banned from Twitch, the owner of Kiwi Farms discussed their feud on their podcast.
Also, there's no hypocrisy here. I'm going to play the devil's advocate. There's no hypocrisy here because both of these things could be true. Both of these things could be true at the same time. They could have noticed her both because of Destiny and because of the ratioing. What now? What if both of these things were true? Suddenly there's no hypocrisy. What's your retort to that, Mr. Some Ordinary Gamer? And that's something that I just thought of in 3 seconds. Both of these things could be true at the same time. They could have caught wind of their through 2 different sources at the same time. Keffals loves doxing people. I assume that's what he's going to talk about. We'll see. Mira could have handled this appropriately. Keffals isn't above reproach. What streamer is? I could think of a few streamers that are pretty okay. Lucy is but only her. But he's using this to create a broad brush this audience is using badly. I tend to see law as an arbitrary and imaginary badge of power. I get to tell you what to do because I signed this paper. See, to assign objective morality to law is not nice. Not good.
The episode was streamed live on March 25th. Clara reacted on Twitter, calling him the final boss of transphobes, and proclaiming she wouldn't back down. I have done nothing wrong, nor will I be going anywhere. Her thread was created the next day, racking up page after page scrutinizing her.
Am I on Twitch? I am, yeah. but I've not been using my Twitch for a while. I also have a White Forest page, so if you want to jump on the White Forest page, and support your favorite streamer, then you know. I will be transparent on what I will spend the money on, or do my best.
Early life and online history. That included rumors of embezzling funds from her local Communist Party chapter.
Waiting for people to say I ate babies because someone said it in a tweet once. So Keffals got super doxxed, and in the process of deleting everything, with the cake being that she got ousted from her Communist Party chapter for embezzling funds to fund her. What? Even this ridiculous lies show how does it sound anything less than based to steal money from a Communist Party to buy. Damn. What do Communist parties in the US even do? I guess that is my question to the US viewers. What do Communist parties even do in the US?
For opiates and a supposed
I
discourse.
genuinely don't know what Communist parties could be even doing in the US. Lose elections mostly. Basically nothing but complain on Twitter. They generate cringe via infighting. LARP as communists while trying to get suck them into the government. I think Portland elected one though. Oh, damn. A communist got into the US government. That's an achievement, I guess.
Discord server called the Catboy Ranch. It was posted alongside her and her family's personal information, which understandably made her very upset. Clara spoke out about this, which led many people who'd been similarly targeted to join her in solidarity.
What a weird profile picture, by the way. She was in the Canada Communist Party. I mean, I'm pretty sure my question stands. I'm pretty sure my question stands. What do communist parties do in Canada? Hello, Sino Tep Up. Sino the Pop. You should stop being white. Please.
This began what
Please.
eventually became #DropKiwiFarms. #DropKiwiFarms.
I remember I did 2 videos celebrating Kiwi Farms getting taken down. I don't regret it. I don't regret any videos, and I got a lot of hate from Kiwi Farms. A lot hate. Like over 50 comments, 50 hateful. I was much smaller than now. I'm still super small, but then, how many even subscribers did I have back then? 300? 200? Sean in the pub. Okay. Sean on the pub. Okay. But you should still stop being white and subscribe, please, to your favorite streamer. Oh, do you remember Maha? The comments that I got from Kiwi farmers? I remember. And then they at least left me alone. Oh! Did I mention that they actually wrote about me a bit on the site proper? Did I tell you that? That they actually talked about me a bit on the site proper? Somebody sent me a link to them talking about me on the site proper. Do you know what they said about me on the site? It was so bizarre. Kiwi Farms wrote about me on the site proper because I made those videos and they commented on them. So they wrote that they regret, because I was a VTuber back then. So they said they regret that VTubers are very, and that comment actually worried me. Did you get harassment? I got a lot of bad comments under the Kiwi Farms videos, and then they just ignored me. But that one comment actually worried me a bit. They said that it's a shame that VTubers are so anonymous because it's very hard to get information on VTubers about them in real life. That was one comment that gave me pause. You know? So it's so hard to dox those VTubers.
Oh, Barry!
Oh, thank you for the $10. Keep on streaming, Lucy. Thank you. But you need to subscribe to get a color to your name. And they also said that I must be Taiwanese, that I sound Asian or Chinese. And they said that I must be using a voice changer to make myself sound like a cute anime girl. I surely use voice changer. So that's very weird. I'm a Taiwanese person that uses a voice changer. I know. I don't. Betionniarax. Cześć. So, technically speaking, they said Taiwanese. Well, I didn't use a voice changer. I just spoke in falsetto. Those Anglo-Saxons be calling everyone east of the Netherlands Asian, true. Yeah. I used to be like a falsetto. And now I cannot watch my old videos because I cannot bear to listen to myself. That's right. I use this sort of voice. Yeah. My goodness. Good old times.
This was a movement to get the
Good old times. I use this sort of voice. You know?
site taken off the internet. They
It
specifically
wasn't a higher pitch. It was come on. The line, come on. It wasn't a higher pitch. It was, what's your gender? Girl, woman, trans woman. It was the falsetto. It's just falsetto. It's not higher. It's not a higher pitch. Because that's also my gender gamer. Because I can go higher pitch with this, higher pitch with this sort of voice that I'm using now. I can go higher pitch. But what you're referring to is sort of different. I guess resonance. I think. It's not a matter of pitch. Going falsetto is something different.
went after service providers like Cloudflare, who provided DDoS protection and mitigation services. They argued Kiwi Farms was a stalking and harassment site that bullied people into taking their own lives. However, this largely picked up after her story received widespread mainstream coverage. For a while, her focus stayed on trying to bludgeon Destiny with their reputation. On July 18th, Keffals announced
This is a Destiny defense video.
a tell-all about Destiny's association with the site. This backfired because her thumbnail used a picture of Destiny's face, violating Twitch's policy on banned streamers. Her channel got banned before she could even start, forcing her to stream on
Trans Twitch streamer claims she was banned for showing examples of abuse. Oh, yeah, I remember. Because there was a bunch of slurs. So, it was just, yeah, I remember.
YouTube instead. The attention only incentivized Kiwi Farms to keep prodding, and a week later she fell victim to an attempted swatting. The incident has made public on the 9th of August in a video titled, "My life is in danger, I need your help."
Are you from Kiwi Farms, Betoniarax? You wanna dox me? What do you ask? Because I'm speaking to a foreign audience. You're not very bright, are you? You're not very smart. Why would I speak Polish to an English-speaking audience? You're not the brightest viewer. You're not the sharpest tool in the toolbox.
Clara explained that 4 days earlier, on August 5th, she woke up to police services pointing an assault rifle at her face.
On August 5th, I was woken up by London Police Services pointing an assault rifle in my face.
A letter had been emailed to every city council member in London, Ontario, threatening a mass. Clara was arrested, booked, and held in custody for 11 hours. They searched her apartment and confiscated several devices. They allegedly misgendered her and even booked
Allegedly. Didn't they actually misgender her? Wasn't that a whole thing?
her under her dead name. If you're unaware, dead naming refers to using a prior name for a trans person generally associated with the gender they were assigned.
They did it, and they arrested her under the dead name, didn't they?
Birth. This worsened an already traumatic experience she considered a hate crime. The video is posted alongside a GoFundMe with the stated intent of helping Clara recoup her losses, move immediately, and build a legal fund to protect her rights. It received widespread media attention, bringing in over $100,000 in donations. Even with their support, however, it seemed like there was no escape. Trolls kept figuring out her location as she was forced into hiding, and her battle against...
Although some speculate that she sort of left clues on purpose to be found. Although the bed sheet in the hotel thing was pretty weird. She claimed more than they admitted, booking her on her dead name that was already in the system. Did your voice get tired? I hear the distinction you mean in the older videos. I didn't sound bad though. It's really challenging to train one's voice or to know where to start. I have a voice teacher, so... What made you change? My teacher. My teacher made me change, sort of. To get more range. She said they did it at her home as well as I don't remember that claim. Groping her breast. I don't remember that claim. This is the first time I'm seeing this claim to Winkle of groping the breast. I've never seen it before. That makes sense. That's cool.
Kiwi Farms continued. Even after fleeing the continent, eventually she was successful in getting the site dropped by Cloudflare, who cited an imminent threat to human life. Without their protection, Kiwi...
I've never heard her make that claim. I've never heard it either. To breast groping. I'm hearing it for the first time now from you. Winkle.
Farms became vulnerable to illegal denial of service attacks and was forced to shut down.
The groping comes out in the lawsuit. You're getting ahead of the video. Okay.
Now this is the story that the public was led to believe. Concluding a successful campaign, Keffals reiterated over and over that the site had been shut down.
It kept coming back and then getting shut down again, coming back, getting shut down again. That was a thing.
It became more difficult to insist as time had gone on, given it's obviously not true. Kiwi Farms is up to this day, and by all metrics...
It keeps getting up and down, no? It's not as stable as it was before. We can probably agree on that, right? That it became a far less stable site, at least at the time.
It has way more stability than ever before. And
Josh Moon is having a lot of trouble keeping it up. Yeah, it keeps going down. I mean, you cannot call it a total failure no matter what. They are going through hosts and services like... Yeah, I know. So you cannot just say, oh, it is just up. They're far less stable than they used to be. That's a fact.
what many of her supporters don't realize is that this is truly the beginning of the web of lies that make up this entire ordeal. Almost everything you've heard about
Wait, where's the lie? I've yet to have heard the lie. And again, I've yet to have heard the argument of why she's so dangerous.
whole situation is a lie. And that's why I'm going to explore in depth in these next two sections. These are two very important aspects to the story to address: her portrayal of the swatting and how exactly the money was spent. When it comes to something as serious as swatting, it's important not to downplay its severity. This is a crime that's taken innocent people's lives. But curiously, her story began to change as time went on. Okay. The narrative set forth in her initial video is one of terror. Clara says on the 5th of August, she is awoken by police services pointing an assault rifle at her face.
Believe it or not, I actually once woke up by the border patrol pointing a rifle at my face. But I just think of it as like this funny little story that I can tell. Especially the way I reacted to it. It's just this little funny meme story that I tell from time to time.
This specific detail is referenced in her video several times.
On August 5th, I was woken up by London police services pointing an assault rifle in my face.
It's a long story. It's like a very weird not a misunderstanding per se. It's just that they implicated me into something that had actually absolutely nothing to do with me, which they actually figured out pretty quickly.
At my home. When I was woken...
But I did have masked dudes pointing rifles at me. It was like hands in the air. I was like, half asleep, you know. Was
woken up by police officers and saw the assault rifle pointed at me. I thought I was going to die. I feel traumatized.
I did not feel that at all. That was not my experience.
Her story then changed to an encounter in the hallway. The exact phrasing is that she went into the hallway and then saw the weapon.
The email, Sorrenti says, had given out her real address and resulted in police with guns at her doorstep and her being arrested.
When I went into the hallway and then saw that assault rifle, I screamed and I thought I was going to die.
A month later, she admitted that they didn't enter her apartment.
I didn't scream. I was just half asleep. I was like, okay. True. No fear, only giggles. True. Real. I only fear for other people. Non-stop.
Until after she was in custody.
They did not go into my apartment until after I was in custody. And they had a
I mean, that is an inconsistency, I guess. The difference between waking up to and waking up to and walking to the door, in my opinion, is so trivial. I mean, that is an actual difference, no? Like, there is a difference between going to the door and opening to the people, and actually what happened to me, that I was in bed, a guy in a mask with a thing came to bed and was like, hands up! I was like, oh, hands up. Hands up. You know? That is actually a difference. There is a difference there. Do you fear anything though? Yes, I fear not getting money. Please give Lucy some money.
Search warrant signed.
These next
I do have fear of losing the people that I care about.
few clips are of Alex, her fiance at the time. Alex confirms she didn't wake up with a gun in her face and reveals Clara wasn't even the one to answer the door. They spoke to Alex first, who was already awake, and gave Clara enough time to put on pajamas.
So it wasn't quite that they knocked on the door and I
Tail end of
answered.
my sub is go.
Wait, whose voice is that? Oh, that wasn't a sub. Sean donated $10. I don't think that's not a. Sean is still white. It can matter, but in the case of calling Keffals a dangerous liar, I don't know if it's really a slam dunk for me. It's not. Especially since I will remind you that the initial claim is that Keffals is one of the most dangerous people on the web. One of the most dangerous people on the internet. Keffals. We are 15 minutes in, and so far that has not been established in the slightest. Like, I'm not watching this and thinking, wow, Keffals is one of the most dangerous individuals on the entire web. Wow. Damn. I wouldn't want to cross Keffals. I could get in trouble. She's dangerous. You know? It's not exactly what I'm thinking when I'm watching this.
Rather, I
Look how dangerous she looks. We're not going to New Vegas tonight, are we? We are. We're definitely playing New Vegas. I'm actually excited to play some New Vegas tonight. Believe it or not. For only 15 out of 1 hour free. I mean, if you stick around, then you'll definitely see some New Vegas. Or you can pay me $100 and then we'll just quit watching the video and go straight to New Vegas. Mira isn't going to defend Josh Moon, is he? We'll see. We'll see. I'm doing the quest for the king, by the way. I'm doing the quest for the king right now in New Vegas. Pretty exciting stuff. Pretty exciting stuff. There's not much difference. There's no reason to not just say what happened without.
I was getting ready for the shower and there was a tremendous
Is there a ceiling of what you do for $100? What do you have in mind? What do you have in mind? Write your proposal and you'll see if I agree. I already once agreed to get a little bit tipsy, drunk for $100, so... You know? Nothing at the moment. If there's not much difference, there's no reason to not just say what happened without embellishment. I mean, maybe Keffals is an enemy stand user and Mota is revealing it. I want to have the money to drop 100 on streamer requests. I mean, you can all collectively pay me 100. I've gotten $10 today, so you just have to give me $90 now. It doesn't have to be one person giving me $100. It can be collective, a commune, a community. Probably I would just ask you to make a new animation. That's something that I want to do, yeah. So it would warrant more money. True, we could theoretically do that. Go, 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 go.
pounding
Collectivization.
And so, yeah, someone did not wake her with a rifle pointed 3 inches from her face.
3 inches. I mean, I got woken up by a...
But essentially, as soon as she woke up...
Like President Sunday has those drama versus theory counters, yes. In this case, this is a Keffals video versus New Vegas counter.
Was I in a state of undress? I was naked, and I had to put on a pair of pajamas that was, like, on the floor before I could even go out to see the police officers.
See, the story has already morphed significantly from Clara waking up to guns in her face, to seeing guns in the hallway, to police never entering the apartment at all. The lack of consistency is concerning, given she was supposed to be taking legal action against them. And I mean, Keffals went so far as to compare herself to a victim of police brutality.
Every time I see another story involving an innocent black man being killed by the police, I think back to the last month when I had an assault rifle pointed at me by the police, and how easily that situation, I think it should have said here situation, could have escalated if I wasn't white. I hope Elia McLean finds justice. Listen, I'm willing to actually be... I know a lot of people criticize this, but you know what? I'm known to be the charitable person. I'm known to be the... what's it called? Understanding and reasonable person. I don't know. To me, it just sort of reads like trying to empathize, you know?
Every time I see another story involving an innocent black man being killed by the police, I think back to last month when
I don't know. This just reads to me as I know that situations that I know that a situation that wasn't all that dangerous to me, to a person of color, becomes a much more dangerous situation. That I don't know. I sort of read it as that, but maybe I'm just missing something, you know? I don't think she's like comparing herself to the victim here. To me, this is actually reads as saying a thing that won't end up as super dangerous to me, to a person of color, will actually end up as a thing that's dangerous, which actually sets a difference rather than trying to compare that the situations are similar. Does that make sense? Am I misreading this? Am I being too charitable? Am I being too nice? Is Lucy being too nice? Write in the chat.
Assault rifle. Dog, whatever you think about the interaction, it is by no means comparable to what happened to Elijah McClain.
I just don't see it like that. I don't see this read that it's comparable. Like, it reads to me that she is saying that it's not comparable. That situation that ended up okay to her will not always end up okay, you know?
The fact that she can't keep her story straight.
I mean, even just being a member of minority group, I think, could make it more dangerous. Cops aren't exactly the most forward-thinking individuals. I could totally see them hate claiming a trans person just because. I mean, then again, Keffals is not me, okay? I'm gonna be blunt. I'm gonna be brutally honest. Keffals is not me. Keffals is far more quote-unquote passing than me. So when people see Keffals, they don't probably see, oh, that's a trans person. They probably just see, a lot of people probably just think that Keffals is cis or something.
Just makes this so much more worse. Clara also claimed police were transphobic and booked her under a dead name. If you're unaware, dead naming again refers to using a prior name for a trans person generally associated with the gender they were assigned at birth.
Okay.
During the arrest, the police officer referred to me by my dead name. I was booked in the station under my dead name. The police, when talking to my mother, referred to me as her son. The fact
You only knew she was trans because the email key. Oh, yeah. That's true.
That a fake email led to London Police Services booking me under my dead name reveals the prejudice that many police have towards transgender people. This is despite the fact that the email contained my real name before ever even mentioning my dead name. This is one of the property bags returned to me after I was released from custody. All of the property bags returned to me have Roberts written on them. Roberts was my last name until I legally changed my name first to Kaylee Sorrenti on January 25th, 2012.
On August 11th, London Police Chief Steve Williams put out a statement regarding some of her accusations. He states that all activity in the holding cells is monitored by audio and video equipment. They reviewed the footage and found no evidence of Miss Sorrenti being addressed by her dead name and gender. Williams concluded her dead name was used on property bags due to the existence of a prior police report, explaining that it was literally for tracking purposes. He apologized and ensured a solution would be implemented to prevent any of this in the future.
Interesting. I might be off on the details, but didn't Keffals call the department ahead of time explaining their identity and why they might have false calls about her? Thus the authorities would theoretically have known she was trans, and didn't she claim she was groped and mocked? I'm not sure. We'll see. Apparently the video addresses this, so...
Claire responded to the statement by reiterating her dead name was used during the arrest. She even speculated the timing may have been intentional so they wouldn't get caught.
It's important that he said, "While I cannot confirm any conversations which might have transpired during Miss Sorrenti's initial arrest," and that's when it happened, "the activity in the holding cells is monitored. And I never made a statement about any bad things that happened while I was in custody." I would absolutely assume that when the police know that these things are being recorded and can be part of public record, they would be more careful with how they go about their business. I don't expect them to acknowledge how bad the situation actually was. And there's no way of verifying it besides first-person testimony because there's no body cams in the London Police Service.
Her own partner then contradicts the claim that she was dead named during the arrest, though alludes to unspecified misgendering that occurred. Once again, any instance after the arrest should have been captured on recording.
So where's the partners? Where's the partner thing?
And they yelled at Clara while she was in bed. So she got up. They were saying Clara Sorrenti. Note that they did not use her dead name at this point either.
As far as I know...
Is that the partners speaking? Was that the partner speaking?
Is there anything I missed, Alex?
I think that's really the main gist of the arrest portion, which was really the most traumatic in terms of, having the guns pointed at us, the misgendering that occurred. Yeah, that whole arrest. That is how it happened. It wasn't straight up dynamic entry.
They could just be misremembering. That is also a possibility.
They didn't.
The absence of evidence means that this only remains a he said, she said.
It's not uncommon for people that undergo stressful events to sort of mix things up because it's stressful, so your memories can get wibbly wobbly. See, I'm offering realistic counter theories. It doesn't have to be malicious. There are people that sort of undergo stressful situations and their memories can get pretty hazy and inconsistencies may arise. But it doesn't automatically follow that it has to mean that they are lying. You see? It actually happens, and it's a thing that I believe has to be taken into account when dealing with these sort of cases.
Scenario, but it's hard to take Clara's word at face value given her complete and total lack of credibility. Another key part of her story was that police had confiscated their devices, resulting in significant financial damages.
They seized both my personal and work phone, as well as...
By the way, I told you about the whole border patrol thing. By the end of their visit, at some point they said they have to seize all of our computers, etc., etc. And by the end of their visit, I will call it visit, they say that their boss was like, you know what? Yeah, we're not taking the computers. That was pretty funny, actually. I was like, nah, we're leaving the computers. We're not taking them.
Was the work computer that I broadcast on Twitch from. Not only that, but the police seized my fiance's cell phones and laptop, as well as their external drive, which contained the only copy of their PhD thesis and other important university documents. Because of the negligence of the police, we were both left functionally unemployed, and I have spent thousands of dollars replacing our computers and cell phones.
Imagine having free lying around thousands of dollars to buy new computer equipment. Please give me thousands of dollars so I can buy a laptop so I can do more mobile work. I called Lucy a fraud. I just realized I'm really behind in the stream.
And this is one of her justifications to launch the GoFundMe.
How does it cost thousands of dollars to replace your phone and computers? Because good computers cost thousands of dollars. You know? So you can have a single laptop that costs $3,000. I guess you could open a new credit card account and borrow thousands. No, I can't. I actually literally can't. Greater ain't. I literally can't. Or for what do you need good computer? For streaming. For streaming. For video games.
To recoup her losses.
I started a GoFundMe to move immediately, recoup my losses, and build a legal fund to protect my rights.
But there were no losses to recoup. The devices were returned after 3 days.
I eventually...
Yeah, but that isn't going to cost you thousands of dollars. What do you mean? $3,000 is thousands of dollars. Literally. My laptop was like $2.5K. That's thousands of dollars. Literally, that is thousands of dollars. $2,500 is thousands of dollars. No, not you. Like just a random individual with a credit score that isn't in the sewer. I don't know though because I've avoided using credit.
got my stuff back in like 3 days and got an apology from the chief of police.
That's nice.
So
if stuff was returned after 3 days, you don't have to spend $3,000 replacing equipment. I mean, yeah. But I don't have equipment that can be returned to me, so I do have to spend $3,000. Not replacing, but getting equipment in the first place. Okay? I need to get equipment in the first place. There's nothing to be returned to me. So, that being said, I know the graphics is on the stream that says, please give Lucy your money, but also consider joining the page and, donating or subscribing to your favorite streamer. I can't because I can't. It's not about it being an option in Poland. It's not an option for me particularly.
yeah, that was really nice. Not nice how they responded to the situation, but I'll take it.
Now, if we're to believe that she meant 3 days after the swatting, that would place it on August 8th, a day before the GoFundMe started. There's also footage of Clara picking up her belongings from the police station, where you can see this property bag. It heavily resembles the property bag seen in her initial video. A close-up of one of the labels shows us a date of August 8th, 2022.
Okay.
This again implies that she got her stuff back before the video and GoFundMe ever even went live, and knowingly lied about needing to buy a new cell phone and computer. Even if you don't want to make that assertion, at best, she got her stuff back the next day, because this upload is dated August 10th. There is no way to reconcile these statements, and either way, it was dishonest to never update that campaign to reflect this.
Because of the negligence of the police, we were both left functionally unemployed.
See, I'm honest, because I have no equipment to be returned to me. I just have to get it from zero.
And I have spent thousands of dollars replacing our computers and cell phones, so our lives aren't
Imagine having VR.
completely destroyed by what happened to us.
Now, Keffals launched her GoFundMe on August 9, 2022 with an initial goal of $20,000. The page claims that if this amount was exceeded, the funds would be allocated to a legal fund to protect herself against ongoing and future threats to her safety. However, this was later changed to, I am keeping the GoFundMe up, but all donations are going directly to my legal fund, which I will be using to seek justice. Now, this is a very, very important distinction, because it means
Justice.
all the donations past the first 20 grand were explicitly for legal action. See, Clara gradually kept raising the goal until it reached over $100,000 on the 20th. If you want to be technical, it actually never ended, because she's still taking donations to this day. In fact, there wasn't even a fixed amount, which is odd, as it makes it seem like her goal was to basically raise as much money as possible rather than afford an intentional expense. Naturally, with her effort raising over $100,000, there were questions over how the money was spent. Claire's tried to poison the well numerous times by calling anyone who asks this question bad faith. I'll never do a GoFundMe breakdown for bad faith actors who neither support me nor contributed to the fund in the first place.
Here's Muta's strongest claim. It does seem that Keffals was dishonest with what she did with the GoFundMe stuff. That is... From my perspective, and I say this because I did a GoFundMe for my mom, if you're doing a GoFundMe, you really have to say what you're using it for, you know? For example, I used the money from the GoFundMe to pay for mom's rehabilitation after her surgery, which was a very stressful situation because the surgery ended and then they drove my mom to the place where she was supposed to have her rehabilitation. She couldn't have it for free. She would have to wait 6 months. But the money didn't go through yet. Okay? So we waited in the corridor for the money to go through so that I could pay for it. And only then she got admitted and taken to her room. It was a pretty messed up, stressful situation I have. That one was a stressful situation.
Well, what if I gave money? Am I now allowed to ask? Ooh, that's a question we should bring up. You have to remember, this was a story that got mainstream coverage. There were over 150 articles published about the situation, including The Guardian, NBC, CNN, Bloomberg, the Associated Press, and Canadian state-funded news outlet CBC. Popular politicians like Jagmeet Singh of the NDP party took a stand by her publicly. Normies were led to believe a series of events that did not occur. And there are regular folk out there who don't have the time or capability to ensure their funds weren't misused, especially when there is a limited amount of financial support for at-risk members of the trans community. There is nothing wrong with questioning for transparency of where this money had went. In fact, more people should actually be asking where this money even went. Clara posted this photo in her Discord server, which was enough for trolls to bombard the hotel with pizzas. The next day, she uploaded a video declaring things had escalated and she was now in hiding. If you recall, another goal of hers was to move out immediately, after someone hacked her Uber Eats account and sent $500 worth of food.
So what happened, I woke up and I got an email that the Uber, the email for my Uber Eats account
I don't
was
think there are any inaccuracies in those news articles. I'm not sure. In this case, I'm not sure if this is the case he's making. He's not saying the articles were inaccurate. It's more like he's saying that the media just believed her. Believed that she was being forthcoming with what the money was going to be for, etc. My family all went to eat at the restaurant Cracker Barrel for breakfast for Mother's Day. It's a rough day for a lot of us because of my cousin's passing. My aunt has her first Mother's Day without her daughter, and my little cousins without her mom. Yeah.
changed. And then I looked outside the door and there was like at least $500 worth of food ordered with my hacked Uber account. So I got doxxed again. Except this time I also got hacked.
She expedited an already planned trip to Europe. Her rationale was that London police didn't have the resources to stop online trolls. And then she went live to provide further details.
Are you moving to Europe? I'm gonna be living there for a while, but I'm not moving there. My fiance is staying back in Canada, and I'm gonna be in the UK on my own for a while. I think that
the media only reported what Keffals told them. It was all over media in Canada. I watched the interviews as well. So I don't think you can say that the media made inaccuracies if they just reported what they got.
the current plan is that in 2-3 weeks of my stay,
I mean, technically speaking, you could say that they didn't do their due diligence because they didn't make sure they knew what the funds would actually go to.
my fiance is going to be coming over and we'll stay together for a while. On Monday, I find out if I got approved or not for the new place that I want to live at, which will give us a really good time frame of what we're going to do.
Her fans begged her to stop giving out information.
I guess there's no way they could have known that in advance, though. I mean, they could have asked her directly, no? Sort of.
Stop giving out details. Stop telling me what to do.
Later that day, Clara tweeted, "Do I have any followers in Europe? Let me know if you want to meet up." Her first stream back revealed she was in Northern Ireland.
Yeah, that was a weird choice. Do you want to meet up? That was a bit strange. For a person that was trying to avoid being found.
So, I'm okay. I am currently in Ireland. I am staying with a friend.
Why is the chat censored? I don't get it. Why is the chat censored? How was your Mother's Day? It was okay. I am a mother to all of you.
I'm safe. Things are good. Don't tell people what country. It is completely fine. Do you know how dense Ireland is? Very dense country. I do not think it's going to be a problem.
She was staying with a friend named Ellen. Her ex-fiance never moved over for reasons we're actually going to discuss later. Ellen had already been doxxed months prior, and their apartment was found within 24 hours. And a troll took this photo outside their building. They were able to find her
the letter. Why is this censored? She has adopted so many children just now. It's true.
location just by using a doorknob. To be clear, I'm not endorsing any.
No, they couldn't. And the information was so sensational, the news just supported it. Oh, they couldn't. I guess, okay. I believe you. You're my child now, so I believe you. I believe you on your word. But I'll extra believe you. This is so shameless, but you know what? I don't know shame. I will extra believe you if you join this page through this link and subscribe. Ding! I will definitely tell you what I will spend the money on. I will tell you.
Of this behavior or doing it, or even saying if you're careless, you deserve that this happens to you. My argument is that if you're willing to leave a continent to another continent to escape trolls, there is a lot you could do for less to mitigate the risk of doxing. For example, not buying equipment specifically.
Your local IRL streaming backpack builder has completed her latest backpack commission for
IRL streaming and announcing where you're going to be in advance. At one point, Ellen revealed they were going to go to visit a poutine truck in Belfast. The owner received bomb threats, which Clara used to tease an IRL stream on Twitter. Hey, maybe it's a one-off mistake, right? A day later, Ellen publicly fielded suggestions for future IRL stream locations.
Jesus. I can fault other people for caring what she does with the GoFundMe money, but I can just muster the energy to care. See, I'm censoring words because this is a family-friendly stream.
In Ireland. I want to reiterate, if you are in hiding, why would you buy new streaming equipment specifically for streaming in the public, and then also share where you plan on going in advance? By her own admission, she wanted to stoke the flames in order to maximize publicity.
By intentionally making myself a lightning rod so I could make kiwi farms more vicious and attack me to the point where Cloudflare had no choice. Because
I mean, it sort of worked, so I don't know. I don't know if to criticize or to applaud. I don't like kiwi farms, and the fact that they're much less stable now than they were before this whole thing, I'm not gonna complain about it. So, yeah. They were edible. Keffals an anti-hero. Also, Holy Greater. Hello, fake Alcal Parker. Welcome back. She made the whole situation content and it made her less credible, in my opinion. I mean, that is true. That is true.
Because every time they attacked me, I publicized it. One of the things that I did intentionally,
the making content of it is a little bit
success of the campaign was make myself a lightning rod. I egged them on. I egged Kiwi Farms on. I wanted them to attack me.
I also make myself a lightning rod. I make myself a lightning rod to your donations and subscriptions. Yes. Listen, not all of my desperate attempts at trying to get money are going to be smooth and cool. Some of them are going to be awkward and weird.
Because by doing that, I was able to show the world how fucking vile they are.
In the past, streamers have been punished for similar behavior. Ice Poseidon was notorious for being a constant target of swatting. He was ultimately banned after streaming and getting swatted inside an airport, and while it wasn't his fault, at a certain point he was clearly feigning ignorance and enabling his troll's behavior for content. What makes Clara's behavior different, and what actually prevented her from staying in Canada? Well, if you think it's fucked up for me to question it, don't worry, because Keffals has since admitted that this entire cover story was all a lie. Nowadays, her explanation for leaving the continent was not to escape online harassment, but to escape her ex-fiancé, Alex, who she now accuses of being abusive. To not get too deep into it, this is after her ex-fiancé called...
Okay, this is also a pretty strange change in the story thing. At least they are honest and sincere. That's what I appreciate about you, Lucy. Thank you. Thank you. I'm honestly and sincerely begging for money. My gosh. Oh my gosh. But thank you. Whoop. We're gonna be playing New Vegas after this, doing the quests for the king.
Her out for leaving to cheat on her with Ellen.
This is where I need to admit something. Last year, I was in the papers. This was on CBC, Canada's biggest media outlet.
I have to admit that I was in the papers. I think everybody knew she was in the papers. What was there to admit?
Twitch streamer and trans activist says she's leaving Canada for a while due to harassment. Earlier this month, Clara Sorrenti was the target of a swatting incident and has been doxxed and hacked. And there was a criticism that I frequently got throughout that time. How does moving to a different country help you with online harassment? And as we found out, it didn't. Because once I landed in Belfast, I had people show
PS2. Damn. Did the police actually confiscate a PS2, a PlayStation 2? I cannot believe that the police confiscated a PlayStation 2. That is so wild.
Going up, making threats outside of where I was staying. And I knew that no matter where I went in the world, I would not escape online harassment as long as I was an online figure. And the truth is, I'm
an online figure. And I actually don't get that much harassment. A couple of people came in today and sort of attempted, but it was very flaccid and pathetic, and they just left.
left the country because of my ex, and because I was scared of my ex. Because my ex was abusive and abused me emotionally and yelled at me and consistently coerced me into sex. That's why I left. But I couldn't tell anyone. I didn't want it to be a big thing. I didn't want it to be in the papers while all the journalists were circling around and writing their stories. I didn't want that to be known. I didn't want any of this to ever be out in public.
Okay, this is the part that I don't really like, okay? This is not a Keffals particular thing, but I don't like it when people sort of say, I really, really didn't want this to be public, and then they just make it public, you know? It really annoys me when people say, oh, I really, really didn't want this to come out. I really, really, really didn't want this to be public. I wanted it to be secret. I wanted it to be not public, and then they go and make it public. You know? I really dislike it when people do that. That whole you know, I wanted all of it to be under wraps, and then just they make it public. She didn't make it public. The ex and Xanderhall did. Oh, okay. I guess I retract my comment. I guess I correct myself then, but I still don't like when people do it. See? I was wise enough to say that this is not a Keffals specific thing, that I just hate it in general. Because I do. So she didn't make it public herself. It was the ex and Xander. How did Xanderhall even know about it? Please God help me. I'm running out of streamers that I can in good conscience support. What streamers do you watch, Dr. Johns? Maybe I could give you suggestions of good streamers. What sort of streamers do you watch? What sort of content are you interested in? The ex probably told Xanderhall. Oh. Keffals brought up her ex as an own against Xander Hall when they had a beef. Oh, so she did make it public. If Keffals brought up her ex, then I'm damn sorry she did make it public. Zan amplified it, but it was already public, I believe. The only other streamer I try to watch is Weo. Who is Weo? Also, what do you watch me for? As in, what type of content do you watch me for? Do you watch me for my Ukraine coverage? They had a disagreement and folks were quick to dish dirt and Xander Hall put it on blast. Okay, I understand. You're white, bonk. That's right.
Oh, Barry!
Thank you. Thank you for the tier 1. Wow. Generosity today is big.
So here's
That must mean that the graphic is working. The beautiful graphic, please give Lucy your money, is working. Ducks.
Her escape basically amounted to a paid-for vacation across Europe, evident by a leaked post from her closed Twitter circle on September 14th. Clara
I cannot wait to get my new apartment and set up a studio. Staying in Ireland until the 27th, then I'm heading to Spain until the 11th. I get my apartment on the 12th. You have a cheerful vibe and a great sense of humor. Me? Wait, I have a great sense of humor? Really? That is a great graphic though. I think Greater Ain't is the official artist of this channel. If you want to learn how to make money, watch a couple of the lead attorney streams. I've never seen somebody so shamelessly and effectively get people to throw money at him. It's awe-inspiring. Listen, I just do the classic thing of begging. Watch this little gif of me warming up by the fire, which, by the way, I drew those and animated them myself. I'm a little bit of an animator. You see? Those little two gifs, the bow and the fireplace, I drew those and I animated them.
reveals she was staying in Ireland until the 27th, then heading to Spain until the 11th, before moving into her apartment on the 12th. Now the dates imply that she had already just bought tickets, but she ended up in London instead to watch a
I like your content and the games, mostly the games as of late. It's I've been desperately trying to contain my doomer energy and getting burned out on politics for obvious reasons. So I should do more gaming in the streams, is what you're saying? I should do a more sort of a schedule where people would know what to expect when they come in. If I'd be doing politics or gaming or any other thing, so they wouldn't be caught off guard when watching as to what to expect. They're adorable.
play. Clara then briefly returned to Ireland before flying to the United States to attend TwitchCon. Not only did she stream the event IRL, but she even antagonized Destiny's ex-wife for being married to him.
Keffals went to go.
Oh, it's Chad Logic, the person that had a weird beef with me. Oh, it's Chad Logic that when I was much smaller, questioned why I get $100 out of Patreon and said it was suspicious because I got far too much money for the small size of my channel. Unironically, when I talked to him for the first time and the last time, he actually asked me about it. How is it possible that you're such a small creator, but you get so much money, which was a bit over 100, on Patreon? I was like, okay. No, I actually really responded to that by saying, I guess people just like what I do and become Patreons, and then added, you can become a Patreon too. But he never became a Patreon.
And she went up to Melina, and she was shaking. Like, it was like she was so anxious or so angry, she was shaking, right? And she said, tell your husband, if he doesn't stop coming for me, I'm going to get his YouTube channel deleted. No memes. That happened, okay?
No memes. I tried gaming streaming the other day and I was so choppy, my connection sucks. Oh.
So Keffals moved into her new apartment on October 12th and used some of the GoFundMe money to pay for a full year's worth of rent in advance.
So just a quick update. I have an apartment for October. I'm moving then. I have it. I've already paid. I'm putting it, like, I'm using the GoFundMe money to pay an entire year in advance.
Now, which is not something she ever said she was going to do, and a huge departure from...
Interesting. I wonder how much that was. I wonder how much money that was. An entire year of... I think it's a bit wasteful, to be honest. I think it's a bit wasteful to just pay an entire year in advance. If you're just locking your money, basically, by doing that, I think it's nuts. I don't know. I honestly don't know why you'd want to do that, to be quite honest.
Just moving. Clara moves into a luxury apartment and with a low approximation amounting to $28,000. So far, Clara has admitted to spending the money on new devices, as well as equipment for IRL streaming. She traveled across Europe, planning to visit Spain from Ireland, but ended up at a play in London instead. She then flies to TwitchCon in the...
She has a pleasant vibe and the layout of the stream is very comfortable and warm. Oh, thank you. Like the layout thing was created by fake Hal Parker. The blue thing.
the United States before getting an apartment in Canada and then paying an entire year's worth.
My brother does it because he destroyed his credit. Otherwise, yeah, it's a bad idea. Some places offer discounts that might make it worth it. It beats, but I guess.
Worth of rent. There she bought even more equipment to build a professional set with studio lights. While it's difficult to make an exact calculation for this, the gaming chair alone, her gaming...
This is my professional studio. Which... professional. I just have a lamp in the background. This is my professionalism. Listen. My amateur vibe is what, you know, is my charm. My charm lies in my amateurish setting.
Chair would have cost over $2,000.
I had to take extra caution with the set that I made. It's not even a set. It's just like part of my home. But it is basically a set. I have like studio lights. I have like whole camera thing. It's very professional.
Imagine having studio lights. Couldn't be me. Imagine being professional. Couldn't be me.
So I had to go through all of this as soon as I got back from TwitchCon to make sure that I could just like return to my life before I was swatted.
But see, that wasn't the only thing she admits to spending some of this GoFundMe money on. Clara also says she contracted a security company in September to keep herself safe.
A security company. Now that's interesting.
I consulted with a security company, and they made all of my devices hack-proof, and they gave me tips on not getting doxxed again. They also helped me with a whole bunch of other stuff that I can't talk about because I signed an NDA, like a non-disclosure agreement. I already hired a lawyer, and all of the information between me and my lawyer is privileged and confidential, and I can't talk about it.
Okay.
So the money towards a legal fund is being utilized, but until the point where I can actually talk about what I'm doing, I can't say anything.
So basically, she did disclose bit by bit what the money went to, no?
So I use
In practice.
the money to find a place, to contract a security company to keep myself safe, and to hire a lawyer.
This raises an interesting question on what the security company was doing beyond making her devices hack-proof. That same month, she confronted a prolific member of the Kiwi Farms thread. Keffals tried to intimidate the user with their personal information, claiming to have hired a private investigator. I know the PI will get me more, though. He's still talking to the family and school officials. This didn't work because they doxed the wrong person. The user mocked her and asked if she paid for the PI using her GoFundMe. Clara responded, "No, the GoFundMe is currently in savings until I need to use it." In case you doubt the authenticity of these messages, Clara has confirmed that they are real several times. And I don't know about you, but hiring a private investigator so you can confront trolls with bad info doesn't sound like the action of someone in fear of their life. Her messages also contradict a tweet where she says $50,000 was already put into the legal fund. The final thing Clara mentions in that stream
That
clip
is strange, the hiring of private eyes.
is using the money to hire a lawyer. What's interesting is that, by her own words, she already had a lawyer and was consulting two more. The day after the GoFundMe had launched. It was
This
one of her
video is
earliest
too long.
responses to criticism.
A lot of it could be cut out, by the way. A lot of this video could be cut out. And nothing would be lost. Am I being too harsh? Am I being too harsh on this person? And I hate his delivery, by the way.
Reportedly raising her goal.
Yes, I'm using these funds to move. But more importantly, once I'm safe, the rest of those funds are going to be used for legal expenses. Because I'm not just moving. I'm also taking legal action. I already have one lawyer, and I'm consulting with two more.
Like, now it's turning out that it's not even a secret what she used the funds for. Because she's saying that she's been saying what she's been spending it on. So it's not even a secret anymore, it seems. The whole money thing. So is the main thing that she used it for different things than she said she would? I mean, I guess there are a few questions here. I mean, the main question is whether or not the people that sort of contributed to the GoFundMe are okay with that or not. No?
I'm going
I
to
mean, that's what sort of matters, no?
get justice for what happened to me. And for every other marginalized person in this country who has been victimized. Legal fees are incredibly expensive. And I feel very fortunate that I was able to raise this much money because I would not be able to take legal action if it wasn't for that.
I mean,
This
I recall her saying that it was for legal funds and then saying that it was not going to be for legal funds, that she never said it. And then that she was raising the bar because she wanted 100K from the get-go. You should have just focused on the money stuff, how the donors feel and whatnot. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Strange in retrospect, as only 12 days later, she made
But none of this makes her even close to being one of the most dangerous people on the web. I have to return to this time and time again. Because that is a ridiculous statement to make. To start off the video by saying that she's one of the most dangerous people on the web.
made it very clear she was holding off pursuing legal action against the London police.
That statement alone already made me be like, okay, sure. All right.
Please.
After it first happened, I was very mad at the police. And I wanted to hold their feet to the fire as much as possible. I wanted to even potentially pursue legal action against them. But they've taken the threat against my life very seriously. And I want to see justice. There's a lot of leads right now, and they might actually be able to catch the person who swatted me. And with what is going on and the connections to Kiwi Farms, knowing that they're monitoring the thread, we might actually see something happen.
Now, at around the same time, she told the Kiwi Farms user the money was in savings. She claimed she never said she was going to sue the police.
Yeah, that's all
Yeah, see? That's a thing that I feel is a not insignificant inconsistency from my perspective. Yes, he poisoned the well right from the start. Yeah, but he poisoned it so much that it just made me laugh. I'm sorry. Like, it's just that, like, saying that Keffals of all people is one of the most dangerous people on the web. That doesn't work even as a well poisoner for me. It just makes me laugh, that sort of statement. It's just so ridiculous on its face. It's just silly. It was such a silly thing to say. With a straight face. The only way she could be dangerous was the bathtub HRT, I would say. I mean, that doesn't even come close to being... That doesn't even come close to being one of the most dangerous people on the web. Dangerous people on the web include, like, predators that lure people into real life to do dangerous things to them. Like, is Keffals listed among them or something? That's just ridiculous. No, we're not yet.
I said.
Like
I never
Andrew Tate. Yeah, I guess.
said that I was going to sue the police. I wanted to be very careful with the language that I used because I don't know exactly what the plan is. I know that I'm eventually going to take legal action in some way or another, but I don't know yet, and I can't talk about the different things that have been discussed between my lawyer and I.
Now, going back to Destiny's manifesto, this was scrutinized on a much wider scale, which led many to start asking for a breakdown of expenses. Clara refused, because I'm not providing a product to investors, I won't be sharing expense breakdowns. I've been advised by lawyers to keep...
Oh my god, thank you. Send the pop. Son of the pop. I'm more dangerous. I have a sock filled of potatoes I could use as a wet... Oh my gosh. But thank you.
Keep everything close to vest for legal and safety reasons. Clara rebuked that there was a legal fund. She got an apartment and was now processing the entire event. Now, you're probably wondering, if she wasn't planning on suing the police, why did she hire lawyers and what was the point of the legal fund? Well, if
I would say she's more of a grifter than anything else. Yeah, but that's... Being a grifter is not dangerous per se. You know?
If you read between the lines, some of you might be able to infer what actually happened. On October 2nd, 2000...
I mean, it can be under certain circumstances, but it's not like a given.
2022, Clara posted a client engagement agreement to prove legal action was underway. If you look at the bottom, you can see the document reads, "We have concluded a review of our records, and we confirm that we have not identified a conflicting interest in representing you in this matter. We searched the following names that you provided to us as being relevant. The terms they searched for were Clara Sorrenti, Kiwi Farms, and KiwiFarms.net. Now, this proves she was paying money to consult lawyers about a lawsuit against Kiwi Farms,
Okay.
but not the London police. It's dated August 10th, the same exact day as her stream stating that she'd consulted a lawyer. There isn't actually even a good explanation of why she did this. Kiwi Farms was never mentioned as the intended target of her legal fund. The only entity named in the GoFundMe was the London police. So this took place around the same time she claimed she never intended to sue the police.
But then again, I don't think people who gave her the money would be mad that she didn't sue the police, but rather Kiwi Farms. I honestly not sure if the funders would actually see that as a deal breaker. Maybe I'm wrong. Write in the chat what your thoughts are. Has any of you actually donated to the GoFundMe? If it's okay to ask, of course.
Wondering why it didn't go anywhere? For as much as people hate Kiwi Farms, the website is entirely legal. There
Okay.
are countless examples of attempted litigation that demonstrate this and why it never actually came to fruition. One thing I also want to address is some people have said, whoa, did you get some of your evidence on the Kiwi Farms? Even if I did, that doesn't make the evidence inadmissible. A lot of
I mean, it makes me doubt it. That's for sure. I am one of those donors. I'm not angry, more disappointed and confused. Okay. So, I guess I can ask you directly then. If Keffals took money and said she'd use it for X, suing the police, but would use it for something else, would that make you angry? And she would say that she used it for something else. Would that make you angry that she didn't use it for the thing that she said that she would use it? Or, I guess, what is the source of your disappointment is my question. See, this is turning into a good moment, as I can ask you directly. I feel deceived. I guess, yeah. Like, going back to my example, I was like extremely open as to what my GoFundMe sort of went to, which was, again, my mom's rehab after the surgery. You know? Which was a lifesaver, literally. I was very, very grateful for that. I wasn't an actual fan of her at the time. I didn't start to follow her after the Kiwi Farms drama died down. I was aware of the thing, but didn't put much thought into it. Okay.
the Kiwi Farms evidence is actually cataloged on archive websites that capture a snapshot of a web page and tweets and whatnot. This is to ensure that nothing that I'm showing you is actually altered, and it was as it was originally posted. This makes the evidence admissible. It's kind of like saying, wow, did you find that perfectly good piece of evidence sitting in the middle of a neo-Nazi compound? Yeah, trust me, I get the whole building surrounding it is pretty shitty, but that doesn't...
I mean, it would make me question the evidence if neo-Nazis procured it, yeah. You know? I would double check the evidence if it was procured by neo-Nazis and kept in a neo-Nazi compound, yeah. I'm surprised nobody sort of pointed that out. I would just double check it.
Doesn't mean the evidence is inadmissible. It's still perfectly good evidence. I just wanted to...
I mean, you have to sort of check if it's perfectly good evidence, I would say. Because the source of the evidence sort of does matter. The trustworthiness of the source of the evidence matters. So I would check. I personally stopped watching her after her drama with Xander Hall. Actually, I stopped watching them both during that. Okay, I don't know much about that, and I'm not sure I want to learn about it.
Address this point because it's a common deflection and one that I absolutely need to nip in the butt.
suing Kiwi Farms was actually something that I previously considered and was consulting with lawyers about doing that. And I basically came to the conclusion after looking into it that it's not worth it. There's little I can do as a Canadian to benefit from doing a lawsuit against Kiwi
I'm
Farms.
not really much into strange beefs, strange arguments, strange fights, you know? I'm not much into doing that sort of thing. The biggest quote-unquote fight I had ever was with Chad Logic, ? And then we spoke to one another. We were supposed to debate, and then it just sort of never happened, and that was it. And that was basically it.
The only possible lawsuit being a defamation lawsuit, which there is little to no benefit for me to do.
3 days after posting that letter, Claire admitted on a private stream that she hadn't even started yet. Her unnecessary traveling is blamed for keeping her busy, which to me is an admission that she wasn't all that interested in consulting her lawyers.
But now I'm going to be focusing more on the legal things because I'm settled down, I'm back in Canada,
Legal.
and I have time to work on this now. Consulted quite a bit with my lawyers, but we, at the time, were, especially during the campaign, basically unsure of how to go forward, especially because my availability.
The drama was why I stopped watching Xanderhall. I stopped watching Keffals after the Christian interview. I'm not happy with the Christian interview. Believe it or not, Ellen DeGenerate actually wanted to debate me on it, and I debated him on it sort of privately. I just don't think that platforming a person that is clearly unwell like this is a responsible thing to do. I just don't. You know? Because it just opens the person up for being mocked and harassed more, in my opinion.
Ability was kind of all over the place.
And that's because this will be a very important issue later. She was still in the process of collecting evidence.
President Sunday is the only remaining political figure I follow. I'm still haven't fully decided on DM. Wait, I'm a political figure, sort of, kind of. No, Dr. Johns? Do you not consider me a political figure? A political streamer? I mainly basically talk about the war in Ukraine every single day. I cover the news about the war in Ukraine. And I go to far-right protests and interview people there. Which reminds me, I have to translate and upload the newest interview that I did. That one's great. That one's great. It's amazing.
But
Hey, Susie, it would be irresponsible. You're absolutely right. I mean, you say it would be, but it was. She did the interview.
the problem is right now is
She
that
did
I'm
do the
still
interview.
in the process of I have to collect all the evidence. One of the first steps that you need to do is collect evidence.
I actually stopped watching President Sunday because I didn't want drama content on my sub feed. I would. It was obvious I support you. Yeah, of course, but you know, the implication might have been that you don't consider me a political streamer, but some other type of streamer, you know? If that makes sense.
And if you announce prematurely who you are taking legal action against, it gives that party an opportunity to try and destroy as much evidence as possible. I'm not even going to publicly comment on the party either.
Now, for this to make sense, you kind of have to assume she wasn't talking about the police. And that
Welcome back. Present company not included, Lucy. What do you mean?
Case, we already know what proof does or does not exist. Her recount can't be proven, and even if we're to believe her, it's hard to argue the police acted out of prejudice. This is brought up by Nicholas Diorio, who got some interesting answers out of her on stream.
Oh.
The first clip is Clara stating she was still engaged in legal action against the police.
I wasn't aware you were still engaging with legal action of the police.
I am. It's just like...
Still on the Keffals. I mean, it's long. It's long. It's a long video. But if you get me $100 collectively, I'm not sure how much we've gotten. We've gone 10, 15, 20, $25, I believe, more or less today. So we just need a bit more and then we can stop it.
There's been so much shit that happened. And then, like, immediately after, like, getting back from everything, I had to move. And I, like, just got unpacked, like, 2 weeks ago.
Claire describes a specific incident in which she was dead-named while being put in handcuffs. However, she admits it could have been an honest mistake, and the officer didn't know what a dead name was.
Now, there are questions as to the dead naming taking place. They claim they have no footage of you being dead named once you get back to the precinct. And you claim there was dead naming. So the only time that could have happened is during the swatting itself.
Oh my god! Please end. Please let this end. Okay, we're ending. We're ending this. It's over. Okay. The Keffals thing is over. Thank you. I guess this segment will end here. This is a short-lived segment. So I'm gonna go to the toilet. And then we're gonna play New Vegas.